Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Well,
we're talking about bodies and memories.
Before that, we're talking about bodies and memories at Easter.
Okay.
And that's a peculiar one.
Okay.
You know why? You know, holidays are supposed to be for rest.
But we're always going about. The roads are busy.
Some people are actively active right now.
Gosh.
You are exposed.
You've been busted.
Your body. In fact, there is some stats here. You may want to do one after me. 41% of senior leaders are stressed and 36% are exhausted.
76% of professionals experience burnout.
Are you one of
That's
them?
That's you.
58% report decreased productivity.
Well, they should be on holiday, so it should be decreased. 64% say they are more stressed now than they were 2 years ago.
An estimated 29% of entrepreneurs experience long-term negative effects of burnout.
And wait for it, 59% of men, but 69% of women.
Let's be clear. 59% of men.
10% more.
69%
of women
report
that they're always or often stressed. Thanks to you. Yes, now.
Hey. You see, one of the problems of this world is that when they have menopause, it's men.
What is menopause got to do with it?
Menopause. We don't have womenopause, so. But anyway, we'll come to that.
Do you say that? You say menopause. Men. Oh, pause.
But why don't you pause?
You pause.
You people don't pause.
You have the stress factor. Let's bring in someone to help us.
Let's have our guest this morning to give us perspectives on all of these data. She came up with them. She has to give us a story. Queen Iwo Akinoyenu is a holistic wellness and executive life coach. She joins us here in the studio. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Laughing at us.
You guys just cracked me up. The menopause part was just hilarious, honestly.
Men. Why men?
Men. Pause.
Men. There was something I saw one TikTok and they told the woman, please send the stress.
Your stress language. The
first person, her husband, followed by her virtue.
Imagine.
Go out of the door. Don't skip me.
Men.
Pause.
Menstrual. We don't have womenstrual. It's them. Anyway.
It's not your fault.
You say it's not our fault.
You know, the brain is part of my body. The body never forgets. My brain will not forget this thing that I've said. Continue.
This whole thing is about the burnout epidemic, right?
Yes, it is.
And but you say that the body never forgets. Why that perspective?
So let me start by just talking about trauma. Anybody who goes through trauma at any point in their lives, whether as a child, as an adult, there is always a time when these things will play out.
You're talking about every African.
Of course. So in quotes, I mean, we are currently, with everything that's going on around, you can say the average Nigerian on a daily basis is going through trauma. Now, the body is designed to be able to store these things. You know, you have your central nervous system, right? And as things happen, your physiology, your psychology, your mind, your body, your emotions, because man is tripartite. So something can happen to your emotions, and then it gets stored in the body.
Wow.
And then after a while, if that is not addressed, and that's why it has to be holistic, because if somebody goes through certain kinds of trauma growing up, and at the point where they're now trying to be healthy and have not dealt with those negative emotions, it will still lurk around somewhere, somehow.
Which part of the body is it stored in?
It's in your heart, it's in your tissues, it's just in there, and someday, somehow, it would definitely come out. Now, while I was doing naturopathy, one of the things we learned is that negative emotions release negative chemicals into the body. Just like positive emotions do the same thing. You know, when we talk about endorphins, right? So when things happen consistently or continuously and not being checked, it just keeps storing up, storing up, storing up,
just
storing up.
Just to be clear, so that there is no one who is at a loss for what we are talking about. Sometimes the illnesses we experience in our bodies eventually, the so-called diseases, the cancer and all those things, this is where they come from?
Yes, there's a research that shows, I cannot remember the percentage, but way over 80% of, because the book Deadly Emotions, anybody can read it by Dr. Don Colbert, talked about how people died because of negative emotions. In class, when I was in naturopathy, there was a lady who came she came to be healed. But then as the doctor was, speaking with her, he realized that she had so much bitterness. Wow. And then it stemmed from, I don't want to drag men, but of course, the husband was the primary. And then he said to her, you need to forgive him. And she swore that she would not forgive, and she died with unforgiveness. So that's one part of emotions. Now there is the other part that is stress.
We'll come to, let's stay with the emotion for a minute. Because it sounds somewhat that the emotions you feel and that you hold on so strongly to are actually deadly.
They're killing you, really.
How does it work? How does that happen?
So, well, I'm not a lab scientist or any of that to be able to go into that, but from the little that I have experienced as a person and from the little that I know when I work with clients, like I said, negative emotions. Wonder why people who go through certain kind of sicknesses, once fear is released, that's the first thing that tries to take them out much more than the diagnosis. And people who have the willpower to fight through any diagnosis are the ones who actually stay. It's emotions. It's releasing chemicals. I don't know what the chemicals are called. Maybe I would need to do some research on that. But once the negative chemicals are released and it continues, it just keeps depositing day after day. So when you're saying, oh, I'm not going to forgive that person, you're poisoning your body. You're the one putting poison. Like they say, unforgiveness is drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. That's what it is. Negative emotions just keep feeding in. I have been through a season where I went through a very emotionally draining experience. And oh, I felt it in my body. I can tell you for a fact. I wasn't sleeping well. It was not something that I caused. It was something that happened, but I had to face the consequence, and it was so hard. So many times, you don't bring those experiences on yourself. Things happen, but you must guard your heart and your mind. You know, the Bible says, I'm a Christian, so the Bible says, out of it flows the issues of life.
So, before we draw the curtain, you have a question on the emotion? Before we draw the curtain on the emotion, you have a question first of all?
Yes, so, we have some, this burnout epidemic.
No, we'll come to burnout too. You see the emotion here?
That emotion.
Before just to be clear, okay, I also hear this said sometimes that, okay, is there a difference in emotion and feelings?
Oh, they're about the same, basically, because what you feel, you emote what you feel. So your emotions and your feelings are intertwined. Your emotions and your feelings are intertwined.
I hear this said from time to time and from various people as well. Validating somebody's emotions. Oh, you're laughing. It must be funny. Someone says, you're not validating my emotions.
Really? Yes, you're not acknowledging. This is how I feel. I think sometimes it's when two people...
How you feel my problem?
Yes.
Anyway, you are not the specialist.
So I think that it's two ways. Someone who is emotionally intelligent or mature is able to help people, when you're assertive, that you know how to communicate. Because people who are emotionally drained and exhausted carry negative emotions to other people, right?
Okay.
So it's two ways. One, being able to learn how to be assertive, but at the same time, learning how to guard your heart and your mind, because you will meet all kinds of people. So I cannot wait for you to validate my emotions. Then that's just a recipe for emotional roller coaster disaster every single day, especially in the society where we live in, where people can tell you whatever they want to tell you, how they want to tell you, in what manner they choose to tell you. So at that point in time, you must make up your mind to say, look, these are the guardrails I set around my heart and my mind, and then you must constantly guard your heart and your mind so that you're not always exposed, you know, to those kind of, you know, negative vibes.
So it's good that you're the one saying that, and because you are an expert at this, you've gone through a lot of things in your life that has helped you to build yourself up to that level. But as I had said before, this validation thing, some people are always seeking validation for you to, you know, acknowledge that they are this, acknowledge that they are that, acknowledge I'm beautiful, acknowledge I'm smart, acknowledge that. Do you understand? They're always seeking, and if they don't get that validation, they feel low in life, that they're not being heard or seen. Yes. So I mean, how do you go through? And they're like that constantly. Is that, how positively or negatively does that affect their bodies?
I wish I was the specialist to answer that.
So yeah, the thing is, first and foremost, that kind of always needing validation. I've been through that when I just got married, because I got into marriage with trauma. I was abused as a child. So when you are at that point, it speaks to where you are emotionally. You need help. If you keep wanting validation, many people are not even out. So the first thing is awareness. A lot of people are not even aware of where they are emotionally, because there's just been a roller coaster of things that have not been checked, things that have not been questioned, things that have not been exposed to truth or knowledge or information. So they just keep coasting in that light of, you know, this is who I am, this is how it is for me, and all the that they want to present to you and push over you. So when you find people that are in that space constantly, number one, I would say, if you're emotionally mature, you know, just have some sort of empathy for them. Many of them are not aware. Secondly, you don't have to indulge them. Right? You don't have to constantly, because every time you validate, they will come back to draw you down and ask for the validation. But you can be assertive in how you respond and relate with these people. But anyone who is in that place and wants to hear the truth, you need to really go back and do some sort of self-assessment, possibly get professional help, and move from that place of seeking validation to a place where you are whole, you are well, and then you can flourish. Such people usually will get stuck in a particular space or place, and it's difficult for them to grow or advance, even if every other thing is working. Emotionally is where your core is, your will, your emotions, your decision. That's where it is. That's what makes you who you are, right? So if that is not, you know, being constantly worked on, or you're not growing in that light, then there's a problem. Why? Because you carry that, and when you get married, you transfer to the husband, you have children, you transfer it to the children, you go to colleagues, you transfer it to your workplace. It just keeps spiraling, you know, on and on. And I'm telling you this because I've been there. I've lived that life, and there is a better way.
When they say,
really.
"Oh, why is she always angry?" She's always, and you know, you look great, by the way, and I see that you are an international fitness specialist.
You need the validation.
So, you know, but where does
that's a compliment? I take that.
It is, and I said that to say, well, you do look great. I wanted to say, I said that to say, I said she looks great to say this word. You look great. Don't mind him. You look great.
Thank you.
And I see that you're an international fitness specialist. So, where does this fit into reining in those emotions, especially negative ones, and using fitness and exercise to free yourself of all these things?
So one thing that is clear is that anybody who naturally starts to exercise, even if they were depressed, you will see them come out later to say, this is now my happy place. Remember that exercise releases endorphins, feel-good hormones. They just generally boost your mood, how you feel every day. Positive, remember, positive chemicals are being deposited. When you do this over and again, you begin to see, when your energy levels increase, when you become more confident in your body, you're able to lift things, you're able to move, you're getting more toned and defined, it just changes everything. It starts from within you. At first, it might be, okay, I just want to go to the gym, I want to have flat tummy. But then all the other positives come with it. Because exercising alone is a discipline. Yeah. So for you to be able to go to the gym every day or every 2 days or every other day or whatever your schedule is, and you stay consistent with this, that's already training your mind and your brain to learn to work on yourself. And over time, that's why you have people that are gym rats. Because when they start, there's no going back. No, I can never go back, right? Because it's a great feeling. It's wonderful. Now the focus is not on what this person said, and then at the same time, you're able to, for those people who are I talk about awareness again, when you are aware, because there are people in the gym that are also releasing negative vibes. But when you practice awareness, understand why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Oh, Messiah said something to me and I'm triggered. Why am I triggered? Mm-hmm. What's triggering me? Okay,
maybe this leads me to this question, and thank you very much for that question, Joke, by the way. So, is it safe to allude that being emotionally drained is some kind of precursor or leads to burnout?
Oh, yes. So do we say burnout leads to emotional draining, or I think it's both ways. But even if you're in your best possible self and you continue on a spiral of many things you're doing, programs here, schedule and things, these things affect your brain. When your brain gets tired, you're not able to make your cognitive function begins to drop. You're not able to think, make right decisions. You become irritable. Just many things begin to happen. Also in the season of your life, when women get into menopause, right? When men are getting, men also have andropause.
Men again.
No, but there's andropause too.
You just said menopause again. Anyway, go on.
So when you understand the seasons of your life, for a woman who is pregnant, she just had a child, it's important that you also understand the seasons of your life so that you're able to map out, what season am I in? How is this playing out with me in, my current state? And then you're able to constantly, like I say, practice awareness, ask those questions that will give you the answers. And when you cannot get the answers, seek professional help.
Now, in one of the data you put out, I'm not going to ask you where you got them from. I'm just going to use them. An estimated 29% of entrepreneurs experience long-term negative effects of burnout. How and why?
I mean, being an entrepreneur is not child's play, especially when you're starting out. You have to do everything for your business until you put your systems and structures in place. And then in a place where, for example, you're dependent on light, and the way the country can go 1 week, light does not show up. Many of those things you're thinking about how your clients, you're thinking about your books, you're thinking about supply, so those things in itself can put a drain. So for someone who is in that place, it's important to put systems and structures in place that can help you, even when there's a lot of pressure. For example, you don't compromise on your fitness, you don't compromise on your food, because food is critical. You don't compromise on rest period. You can't work 7 days a week just because you're trying to make ends meet. I'm an entrepreneur and all of that and all of that. All of these things, if you ignore them, it's depositing in your body. And one day the body will say, thank you, ma, thank you, sir. Today,
I need a rest.
I shut down.
So that's the stress point, right?
Yeah.
So, and we say that stress is toxic to the body.
Oh, yes.
But then we also hear that some stress
is good for the body.
Good for
yes,
the body.
There's the good one and there's the bad one. So most of what happens to us is we go on the
I want only the good one, so how do I get it?
So for example, when you exercise, you're putting your body under some form of, because you're working it beyond its normal capacity. But you're doing it also with the mindset that this is beneficial for me. And so it's helping you, your mind, strengthening your mind and all. There are some situations that can also arise that, you know, oh, I didn't budget for this, I didn't plan for this, but it pushes you, anything that pushes you and challenges you out of your comfort zone, you know, and brings out the best in you. That's what we can say, okay, that's possible stress. But something that continues on a daily basis, wearing you out, draining you emotionally, leaving you exhausted, you are asking many questions, and you are just, you know, going through the motions, that's negative stress.
Help me talk to somebody in one corporate organization right now. No, it's not Joker, because this one, she can send me on errand anytime she wants. There is somebody in an organization right now who is afraid of being replaced, and consequently does everything by himself or herself, and would not use the interns or other people around to help get stuff done, simply because if they teach other people to do what they do, they can be replaced, and then they will lose. Why are you smiling? It's not true.
What I can say to the person is, while I understand, you know, the intention and the sincerity of your desires and what you want to achieve, it's also speaking to the place where you need to sit down and really have honest questions with yourself. Be honest. Why are you doing this? Is this stemming from a place where there's trauma you have experienced, and you're trying to, you know, do everything possible to, you know, be the one who's not going to be? Some people have gone to experience abuse, and so you're like, okay, no, I'm going to be here. I'm going to, you know. But when you find yourself in that place, if you can't get like an executive life coach, it will help you see what you cannot see. It will help you become more equipped. It will help you to rise above the limitations that you currently face, because the truth of the matter is, as a leader, you cannot grow that way. You're not going to grow. Your influence as a leader is not going to go far and wide, which is the essence why you are in that place already. So if you find that you're struggling with help, with allowing people, empowering people, then it speaks to where you are. And it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay where you're not okay. And that's why you can have those honest conversations with yourself. Do personal reflections. You can go on, you know, get some tools. There are free tools everywhere, and say, let me just do like a self-assessment. How am I faring? And when the truth comes, sometimes it can shake you up. It's an opportunity for you to grow and become a better person. Yeah, but basically the truth.
But let me ask you this. This is the final one from me. I don't know about you, okay? Emotional guardrails. How do I build those emotional guardrails so that what someone does or says does not trigger me to say I want to punch somebody in the face?
So it starts by understanding who you are. So for a while growing up, I'm somebody who words I get to, they talk about the 5 love languages, so words of affirmation just seem to, you know, and because of that, I'm quick to give it to, if I find somebody and I like you, you're beautiful, and that's just how it is for me. In that same vein, words can also pinch me. Yeah. So now that I know that that's a tendency that I have, then I begin to, you know, condition myself to say, look, you know, so let me cast my husband a bit. So my husband is very thorough, right? So if he says this book is supposed to be arranged like this, you know, and this, so initially when we got married, I'm like, oh God, I beg. So for me, it was whining, because that was how I saw him. This guy would just not stop. He will not let me be. Now I understand that this is who he is. He always wants things to be proper. It's just who he is and what he does, right? So when he comes and says this book needs to be put in this, why is it not? I said, I understand. I said, okay, it will be done. Okay, it will be fine. It will be sorted. And when I don't have energy to talk, I keep quiet. He says, you're not answering me. I said, I heard you. And there's peace in the land. Yes, so it's for you to understand what triggers you, and then go on and learn how to regulate those triggers so that you can become more emotional and you can help people as well, especially if you're a parent. Your children will trigger you every day, every hour, every second, every minute. Will you just be getting angry anyhow? No, so you have to learn how to manage those triggers. And then as you do that, you begin to see that, okay, oh wow. So when those things happen, it doesn't get to you anymore.
This is how we started. When we started, say, what is your stress factor? Push it out the door. You see now, this is my own final question. 10% more. 59% of men and 69% of women report they're always or often stressed. Why?
You chose.
Why is there such a big difference? You have just explained one area now.
Men. So you are your problem.
She just said it that.
You don't want men to talk.
Why was you
men
this way?
Please, you see that our email.
Let me speak for the women, because I'm a mother, right?
Okay.
So the truth of the matter is there are a lot that we grapple with. We have to handle, from when you're married.
We know.
No, let me see. Now you don't want me to talk.
I didn't say you do. Shouldn't talk. We'll talk.
We're married. You have children. The workplace for those people who are in corporate organizations, for entrepreneurs. So there's just a lot. And by nature, God has designed a woman to be a builder and a nurturer. So there tends to be a lot that she has to handle. However, my dear sister, woman, auntie, friend, mommy, it's important that we also must learn to guard our hearts and our minds in everything that we do. It's an honor, right? It's an honor, it's a privilege to be where we are because God has designed it so. It's the way God designed it to. However, it's also important that you learn to, as you always, number one, understand the season you are in life because it will help you. Secondly, get support from other women. It will help because when you're going through something that overwhelms you, somebody has gone through it, so they're able to speak to it. And then finally, be kind to yourself. Treat yourself well, right?
A man is talking to my ear that you should stop talking.
So he's a man.
He's a man that's saying it again. Let me protect him.
Don't worry. As if you don't know what he's doing. Well, thank you so much. I know there is a place for faith in all of this, but we'll talk about it some other time because we are totally out of time. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Queen Iwo Akinyoye, is a holistic wellness coach and international...
It's a transformational coach and international fitness specialist.
Yeah, plenty things.
It has metamorphosed actually to holistic wellness and executive life coach.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
That's great.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
really
me.
Great
okay.
talking to you.
I hear that moving your body releases endorphins, you say? Yeah. Good chemicals. Yeah. So there's someone coming up next for our final stretch who does that for a living, gives you the opportunity to generate the endorphins yourself. Whether you now generate the chemical or not, that's on you. But let's see if that happens.
Yes, and you're about to see the same old dance that he's been dancing.
Oh, gosh.
It doesn't change his style. Let's go.
She casted her husband. You're casting me in public.
Thank God you're not my husband.
We'll be right back.